Grow in harmony with growth harmony. Hi, I'm Suzanne with Growth Harmony and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be addressing a concern that I hear from a lot of mom entrepreneurs who want to make a change in their life, who realize what they're doing is not working. They feel disorganized, overwhelmed, things are a mess, and they're just not making progress, but they don't know where to start. So I'm going to give a few suggestions today on where you might consider starting to make the change. So first of all, hooray, if you're ready to make the change. It takes a lot of courage to acknowledge that and to have the self-awareness around it. And second of all, where to get started, depending on your own situation. All right, so I've seen two main schools of thought about where to begin when you want to make a change. The first one is kind of that idea of eat the frog. I think there's a book around that that talks about doing the most difficult thing first. So what's the biggest problem that you're encountering? That's one idea. A second idea is to do something that's really small but impactful. And that way, when you do something that you're not afraid to do and that you seem like, oh, I can do it, you start to build momentum. Now, what I would suggest is actually a little bit different than both of those. My suggestion is to begin with a quick win that's going to have a ripple effect on other things. And here at Growth Harmony, we focus a lot on leverage. What are the things we can do with less time, less money, less resources, less energy that are going to give us the biggest result? Now, the reason why I suggest starting with something that has a ripple effect is because you're putting a small amount of energy into something. So you're like addressing that small win that doesn't feel overwhelming, right? Taking that baby step. But it's also going to have a big effect because so many other things have a positive result based on this. I know that sounds a little conceptual, so let me give you some examples. All right, so let me tell you a personal story about how this concept came about and what I started with as my quick win that had a ripple effect. So I was in the kitchen where I spend a lot of time because home-cooked meals with fresh ingredients are a big priority for me and one of my main values. So I was preparing the food and feeling this like angst, and I wasn't happy. And I enjoy cooking. I mean, sometimes I feel like it takes too much time, which I've worked on a lot and I will share with you too. But most of the time it feels pretty good these days, but there was something that was just off. And I looked around and I saw that there were so many dirty dishes around. There were things that were out that hadn't been put away. And I was like, there's just so much clutter here. I don't have the space to prepare the way I want it to. And instead of having my counter space in the kitchen, I was just confined to this little amount of the cutting board. And it just wasn't feeling right. I wasn't in a groove. I wasn't in a flow state. So I realized that these dirty dishes were here from breakfast and lunch, and they had piled up and everything had gone around it. And I'm like, why haven't these been put in the dishwasher? Because then I would have more space, right? So I opened the dishwasher to start to put them in, and I noticed that all the dishes in the dishwasher were still clean and the dishwasher hadn't been emptied. All right, so this is when I realized that if the dishwasher is empty, first thing in the morning, the dirty dishes go in the dishwasher, and it's so much cleaner for me to then cook. And I'm in a good mood cooking, and that spills over to the rest of my day and also to my family. So I identified the dishwasher as one of the key things in my life that would cause a ripple effect for the rest of the day. So emptying the dishwasher. Now, for those of you who know me, you also know I'm a songwriter, and I wrote a song about emptying the dishwasher. I'll get into that in another in another video. But for now, just remember that concept that, okay, one thing can have serious consequences and a ripple effect on other things. Another example I hear about is sleep. Now, for me, this is true to a certain extent. I generally sleep well, which I'm really fortunate and I'm appreciative of. But the nights that I don't sleep, I realize that that fatigue has a negative ripple effect on so many things. And I don't have the energy, I don't have the patience, I don't have the sharpness to get through the day, and just it spills over into family and into work and into just anything that I need to do. So I recognize that sleep in our family needs to be a priority. And so that's what we've decided to do. When the kids are tired, they get cranky, they're more apt to, you know, talk back or get more cranky, and just it wasn't a good thing when they weren't getting enough sleep. So something you might consider in your life, is that something that you can work on? All right, so a third quick win that will have a ripple effect for you to consider is around self awareness. You want to make a change, but you don't know where to start. And one thing that can get you started in that direction and create a positive ripple effect is to get clear on what you do want and what you don't want. Oftentimes, it's easier to start with what you don't want because the things in our life that are causing us pain or discomfort, our brain is flashing its emotions and all the energy towards that. So if you start with a list or just thinking about all the things you don't want, and then on the flip side, what you do want, that starts to change things in your mind, and seeing that perhaps there's a path for me to get from here to here instead of just being completely overwhelmed. And this process can also help you to realize, what are those, dishwasher things in your life, or, is sleep something that might affect what's going on that's negative, that you don't want, that you can then change into a positive. Okay, so to recap, when you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to make a change but don't know where to start, you could look at maybe the biggest thing that's causing you issues, if you know what that is. You can start with a quick win, just get yourself some momentum rolling, or kind of combining the two. What's having a negative effect on things that if you change it will have a positive effect? Feeling overwhelmed is a really tough place to be, and wanting to start but not knowing where to start or how to start can be really frustrating. I completely understand because I've been there. So hopefully one of these techniques is something you want to try, and maybe if the first one doesn't work, try something else and keep experimenting to see what will work for you. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Growing hard.